What if the most powerful prayer in the universe isn't one you speak out loud? What if it's the silent conversation you are having with yourself right now? You've been taught to look outside for power, to wait for a sign, for permission, for a change in circumstances. But that is a deep, hypnotic sleep. The real power, the one that creates and destroys worlds, has been inside of you all along. It is your inner speech, and it is always being answered. Stay with me until the end of this message, because you are about to remember how to consciously use this power. You will not be the same person at the end of this, because the world you inhabit begins and ends within your own mind. And today, we take command. Listen just for a moment. Be still. Do you hear it? That constant conversation, the one happening right now, behind your eyes. You've been told these are just thoughts, idle chatter, reactions to your day, but that is a profound misunderstanding. These inner conversations are not idle at all. Oh no, they are the most potent, creative force in your universe. They are the substance from which your entire world is formed. What you are saying to yourself right now, in the secrecy of your own mind, is the living blueprint for your tomorrow. It's a ceaseless, divine broadcast, and the world has no choice but to tune in and reflect the transmission. This inner speech isn't about your reality. It is your reality in its embryonic state. Your I amness is speaking, and the world is listening, always. It is the one and only creative power. There is no other. You are, this very moment, prophesying your future with every silent word you consent to. But that's only the surface. Look around you. See the circumstances, the people, the conditions of your life. They seem so real, so solid, so separate from you. But they are not. They are echoes. They are memories of a past inner conversation that you once held as true. Your external world is nothing more than a lagging physical mirror of the dominant conversations you entertain within your own consciousness. If you argue with lack internally, you will see lack externally. If you rehearse conversations of failure and disappointment, the world will stage that play for you, flawlessly, down to the last detail. It has no choice. It is a loyal, unthinking servant to your inner state. Understand this. The world is not the cause, it is the effect. The cause, the true operant power, is the dialogue you have with yourself. You are living inside the world you built with your words, your secret, inner words. Now, go deeper. This power isn't something you need to acquire. You are already using it, every second of every day. The only question is whether you are using it consciously or unconsciously. Are you the master of your inner world, or you a slave to its habitual, negative chatter? This is where true freedom lies. It is the art of selection. You must consciously choose the conversations that align with the man or woman you desire to be. You must dare to have the inner dialogues of your wish fulfilled, even when the world of your senses screams the opposite. In the quiet workshop of your mind, you can construct a new reality. You can begin to have the conversations of success, of health, of love fulfilled. You are constantly in the process of creating. There's no escape from this law. The only choice you have is what you will create, and that choice is made through the inner speech you choose to accept as true. This inner speech isn't a mere mental exercise. It is the very act of planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Your inner world is the only garden you will ever have, and your words are the seeds. Every sustained assumption, every feelingly spoken inner phrase, takes root there. It doesn't question whether it's good or bad, true or false, based on your current reality. It only accepts what you impress upon it with feeling. This is why casual negative self-talk is so dangerous. You think it's harmless, but you are actively fertilizing the weeds that will one day choke your desires. Your inner talking is a prayer, always being answered. You must become incredibly deliberate about what you are praying for. You are the high priest of your own temple, and your inner words are the incantations that shape the very fabric of your being and your world. What are you whispering to your God? To your own I am. Here's what changes everything. You don't have to fight the old conversations. You don't have to struggle against the negative thoughts that gives them energy. You simply select a new one. You turn your attention away from what is and place it upon what you desire to be. You begin to have the inner conversation from your wish fulfilled. If you desire success, what silent conversations would you be having? You would be thinking. From the state of being successful, you would feel the quiet confidence, the inner knowing. This is the great secret. You change your future by changing your inner dialogue, and you change your inner dialogue by assuming you already are the person you want to be. Start that conversation now, in your head. Feel its reality. For what you are declaring inwardly, with conviction, is the only reality that is destined to appear. You already are that which you seek. You just need to accept it with your inner speech. Now, we enter the workshop. This sacred space where all worlds are born. Your imagination is not a tool for fantasy or escapism. It is the very womb of creation. When your inner speech, your silent declarations of I am, are fused with a vivid imaginative act, something miraculous occurs. You are no longer just thinking about a desire. You are actively participating in its reality. This combination of inner speech and focused imagination is the true operant power. It is here, in this inner studio, that you paint the masterpiece that your world will later display. You are the artist, and your feeling-toned imaginative scenes are the brushstrokes which you construct with passion and clarity on the canvas of your mind. The universe has no choice but to frame in the material world. Don't treat your imagination as a daydream. It is the Holy of Holies, the place where you and the divine creative power are one and the same. Here is the secret that changes everything. Your deeper mind, the subconscious, has no capacity for judgment. It does not know the difference between an experience lived in the flesh and an experience lived vividly in your imagination. It is pure, impressionable substance. When you construct a scene in your mind that implies your wish is fulfilled, and you enter that scene, feeling its reality, speaking the inner words of fulfillment, your subconscious accepts this imagined state as a present fact. It doesn't say, "This is just pretend." It says, "Oh, so this is who we are now. This is our reality." And once it accepts this new truth, it begins to work tirelessly, intelligently, and powerfully to rearrange your world to match this newly established inner state. You are not tricking your mind, you are instructing it. You are giving it the only blueprint it knows how to build from. Your sustained feeling-toned assumption. Now go deeper. You are not bringing something into being from nothingness. All things you could ever desire already exist. They exist now, as potential states of consciousness within the infinite I Am that you are. Creation is already finished. Your journey is not one of effortful creation, but of conscious selection. Your imagination is the instrument of selection. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are tuning your consciousness to that specific reality, that pre-existent state. You are choosing to occupy it. Think of it as an infinite gallery of finished portraits, and your imaginative act is the act of stepping into the one you choose. The world you experience is simply the portrait you are currently occupying. To change your world, you don't repaint the one you're in. You simply and authoritatively select a new one and make it your home through your inner conversations and imaginative acts. This is how you do it. Don't just think of your desire, think from it. What would it feel like if it were true right now? What scene would you naturally experience? Don't imagine the moment of receiving the money, imagine counting it as your own. Don't imagine the wedding proposal, imagine wearing the ring and feeling the comfort of being married. Construct a short, simple scene that implies the desire is already a fact. And then, enter it. Feel the chair beneath you. See the colors in the room, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the inner thrill, the quiet knowing that it is done. Loop this scene over and over, with the corresponding inner conversation of "thank you" or "isn't it wonderful," until it takes on the tones of reality. This is the act of impregnation. You are impressing the subconscious with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling is the key. And what happens next? You let it be. Once the seed is planted, you do not dig it up to see if it's growing. You trust the process. After you have successfully entered the state of your wish fulfilled in imagination, your subconscious mind takes over. It will intelligently guide your steps. A series of events will unfold. A bridge of incidents will appear before you, seeming perfectly natural and ordinary. You'll have an idea, meet someone, receive a call. The world will begin to shift and move to make way for the birth of your assumption. Your only job is to remain faithful to your inner state, to walk in the assumption that you already are the person you want to be. The how is not your concern. The how is the domain of the deeper power within you. Your part is simply to assume, to feel, and to persist. The inner world will build the bridge for you to walk across into your new reality. Here is the master key that unlocks every door. It is called the art of assumption. This is not hope. It is not wishing. It is a bold, conscious, and authoritative act of claiming what is already yours in the unseen. To assume means to take for granted that your desire is a present, living fact. You dare to feel the reality of your wish fulfilled, even when your senses and your reason deny it. You stop pleading with an outside power, and you start commanding from your inner power. You drop the prayer of the beggar, "Please give this to me," and you adopt the prayer of the master, "Thank you, for it is done." An assumption is a mental posture, a state of being you choose to enter and inhabit. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. What you assume, with feeling and persistence, you will become. This is not a philosophy. It is a fundamental, unchangeable law of consciousness. You are, at all times, living in the state you have assumed. But an assumption without feeling is a powerless thing. It is a blueprint without energy, a body without breath. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is the force that impregnates the subconscious mind and compels the manifestation. And when I speak of feeling, I do not mean a loud, hysterical emotion. I mean the quiet, confident, inner knowing of it is so. It is the naturalness of the state. If you were already the person you desire to be, how would you feel? Right now, you would feel a sense of relief, of peace, of quiet joy. Find that feeling, capture that specific mood, wear it like a well-fitting garment. This feeling, this inner conviction, is the language your subconscious mind understands. It doesn't respond to your words of wanting, it responds to your feeling of already having. This is the divine marriage. Your assumption, the thought, unites with your feeling, the emotion. and from this union, a new reality is born. Now go deeper. You must learn to live from the end, not just think of the end. Thinking of your desire keeps it in the future, always just out of reach. It creates a perpetual state of longing. To live from the end is to mentally and emotionally inhabit your fulfilled desire. It is to make your desired state your new home. From this new home, you look out at the world. The old problems seem distant, the old self a memory. You begin to think from success, not of success. You feel from health, not for health. This is a radical shift in your center of being. You are no longer the person who wants it. You are the person who has it. And how do you do this? Through your inner conversations and your imaginative acts. You walk through your day carrying the secret satisfaction of knowing it is already done. Your inner world becomes more real, more solid than the fleeting world of shadows outside. This is where your divine will comes into play. You must persist in your assumption. The world of your senses will try to pull you back. It will present evidence of the old state. Doubt will whisper in your ear. This is the test. You must not falter. You must return, again and again, to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must make your assumption your dominant mood. This is a mental diet. You refuse to entertain any thought, any feeling, any inner conversation that contradicts your assumption. You feed your mind only with thoughts that imply your desire as a present fact. It is a gentle but unwavering persistence. Every time you return to your assumed state, you are strengthening its reality. You are building the unseen structure that must, by law, eventually objectify itself in your world. Your persistence is the measure of your faith, and your faith is your fortune. I understand this transformation. The purpose of assumption is not merely to acquire things, houses, money, or relationships. It is to resurrect a new self. It is to change your I amness. When you assume wealth, you are not just attracting money. You are becoming a person who is conscious of being wealthy. The outer world then reshapes itself to reflect this new state of consciousness. You don't get it, you become it, and therefore you experience it. The assumption is the crucible in which you forge a new identity. You are selecting a new version of yourself from the infinite possibilities of your own being. So, the question is not what do you want? The real question is, who do you choose to be? Assume that I amness now, feel it, live in it, and watch as the world rearranges itself in perfect harmony with the change that has taken place within you. As you begin to walk in this new assumption, the ghosts of your old self will rise up to challenge you. Oh yes, your five senses will scream liar. Your reason will present 1,000 arguments for why it cannot be. Doubts will feel like tidal waves, and that old familiar inner conversation of lack or fear will try to reclaim its throne. Do not be alarmed. This is not a sign that it isn't working. It is a sign that it is working. These are merely the death rattles of your former state of consciousness. They are shadows fighting for their existence. Your journey is not to annihilate these shadows, but to simply outshine them with the light of your new, sustained assumption. See these challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to prove your faithfulness to the unseen reality. Every time you dismiss a doubt and return to your state, you are declaring your allegiance to your own divine power. Here is a secret the world of struggle does not understand. You do not fight the negative. To fight a negative thought is to energize it. To argue with doubt is to validate its presence. The art is in non-resistance. It is a gentle but firm turning of your attention. When the negative thought appears, you do not wrestle with it. You simply let it pass. You acknowledge it without accepting it, and then you gently, lovingly return your focus to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is like being in a room and turning your back on a dark corner to gaze at a beautiful sunrise. Through the window, the dark corner is still there, but you are not giving it your life, your attention. Your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Do this 1,000 times a day if you must. This gentle, persistent return is the very definition of a disciplined mind. It is the practice of the masters. Now, let us speak of that great illusion, time. You have planted the seed in your subconscious, and now you are impatient for the harvest. You keep digging it up to see if it has sprouted. This impatience is a poison. It is a form of doubt. It is a declaration that you do not truly believe it is done. You must enter the state of Sabbath. The Sabbath is a spiritual state of rest, a quiet conviction that the work is finished. Creation is done. Your assumption is a present fact in the higher realm of your consciousness. The interval of time is simply the necessary period for this inner reality to objectify itself. It has its own appointed hour. To be anxious about the when is to deny the is. Live in the feeling that it is already so, and let the how and the when unfold naturally. Trust the law, trust your own I amness. The seed will sprout when it is fully formed in the darkness. Your only job is to remain in the Sabbath of knowing it is done. And what of action? You have been taught that you must strive, and struggle, and force things to happen in the external world. This is the great lie that keeps humanity in bondage. External action is the effect, not the cause. The cause is always your state of consciousness. When you successfully maintain your desired assumption, you will be compelled to act, but this action will feel effortless, natural, and inspired. It will be the logical next step. You will not have to plan or force it. You will simply be moving along the predestined bridge of incidents that your subconscious has already built for you. To try and manipulate the world through frantic effort while still holding a negative inner state is like trying to change your reflection by shattering the mirror. It's pointless and exhausting. Do the real work within. Change your assumption. Persist in that state. And then move under compulsion when inspiration strikes. That is the way of power. This, then, is your sacred duty. Faithfulness. Faith is not a hopeful wish. It is loyalty to the unseen reality. It is the ability to stand in the middle of a storm with the wind and the rain of your senses telling you it's impossible, and yet you quietly hold to the feeling of sunshine within. It is dying to the old man and his limitations and living fully from the new man of your assumption. You must be more loyal to your inner vision than to your present circumstances. Your inner world is the cause. The outer is just a lagging shadow. Be faithful to the cause, and the effect must follow. Persist, hold fast. Do not be moved by the appearance of things. Your unwavering commitment to your desired inner state is the one and only price you pay for the pearl of great price. And when this loyalty becomes your nature, manifestation is no longer a struggle. It becomes an effortless grace. Here is a truth that will set you free. Your desires are not your own. They do not spring from a place of lack or personal whim. A true desire, the deep longing of your heart, is the voice of God, your own I amness, seeking to express more of itself through you. It is life itself pressing for fuller expansion. The desire for health is the principle of wholeness within you, seeking expression. The desire for abundance is the principle of infinity, seeking expression. Therefore, you must not feel ashamed of your desires or feel that you are separate from them. The desire is a promise. It is the thing itself, in seed form, knocking on the door of your conscious mind. It does not come to you from an external source to taunt you. It arises from within, as a sacred prophecy of what you are capable of becoming and experiencing. To deny your desire is to deny the impulse of God within you. This is what it means to be in divine alignment. It is not a complex ritual. It is simply the act of bringing your conscious mind into harmony with the nature of your desire. Since the desire itself is a divine gift, already yours in spirit, alignment is the simple act of saying yes to it. And how do you say yes? By assuming the feeling of your wish already being fulfilled. That is the ultimate act of alignment. In that moment of assumption, you are perfectly aligned with the creative power of the universe because you are claiming your own. You are no longer resisting, questioning, or doubting the divine impulse. You are becoming one with it. In this state of inner union, of perfect alignment with your assumption, the world of form has no choice but to conform. Manifestation is not something you force. It is the natural consequence of this inner harmonious state. This leads to a state of effortless manifestation. The old way is one of constant effort, of trying to manipulate circumstances, of fighting against the current. The new way is one of effortless being. The only work you do is within yourself, the work of selecting your state and remaining loyal to it. Once you have truly become the person who naturally possesses what you desire, the manifestation unfolds as naturally as a tree bears fruit. A rosebush does not struggle to produce roses. It simply does so by virtue of what it is. You are not meant to struggle. You are meant to be the person who is wealthy. Be the person who is loved. Be the person who is secure. You persist in that state of being, and you will find that the world rearranges itself around you with a grace and ease that will astound you. You stop trying to get it, and you simply allow it to be expressed through you. Ultimately, this entire journey is about a fundamental transformation of the self. You are not here to simply acquire more things for the old version of you. You are here to use your desires as a catalyst for a rebirth. Each fulfilled assumption is the death of a limitation and the birth of a greater concept of self. You do not just manifest a new home. You become the person who is consciously housed in that way. The world is a mirror, reflecting the self you are conscious of being. To change the reflection, you must change the self. Do not be content to simply paint over the walls of your old self-concept. Demolish it. Dare to assume a radically new and more wonderful concept of who you are. The manifestation is secondary. It is the glorious, inevitable byproduct of the one true miracle, the transformation of your own I amness. Know this, and never forget it. There is no power outside of you. There is no God in the sky to whom you must plead. The creator of all worlds, the operant power of the universe, is your own wonderful human imagination. That is the I am, that is God. You are, right now, the power that selects realities. Everything you see and experience is the result of your own past assumptions. There is nothing to change but your concept of self. You are not a victim of fate. You are the creator of your destiny. All that you seek, you already are. It is not your job to make it so, but simply to accept that it is so. You are the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. The power is not coming to you. The power is arising from within you, for you are it. You are no longer looking at the mirror. You are now behind it, shaping the reflection. The old self was an echo. Your new self is a declaration. So, the only question that matters is this: what inner conversation will you make your home from this moment on? Declare it in the comments below. Let your assumption be known. Subscribe and activate the notifications, for this remembrance is a continuous journey. And if these words have stirred the Creator within you, then the next video is your command. Post, click it now, and learn to live entirely from the wish fulfilled.